Hi students, there is another interesting topic in your curriculum that's called as a flow chart. See, flow chart sometimes, when we are given a particular problem, what we do is we keep that problem into our mind and we start analyzing how we are supposed to solve it. So when we apply the mind and we, decide about the steps in our mind, we start executing and working accordingly. What if I have to draw these steps on a paper? So I have to show them graphically. To show them graphically, the concept of a program or the algorithm of a program, we require certain symbols, and that concept is called as a flow chart. So there are certain symbols which are given to us, and that's what we're going to study in this particular video. So remember, if I have to start my program or end my program, I have to use the very first symbol, which is called as an oval symbol, where it represents the starting or the ending of a program. Then there are cases where we need to do some kind of assignment. So whenever we say I is equal to I plus 1, S is equal to 10. So when we are assigning a value or when we are doing any kind of mathematical operation, we use the second case, which is called as a rectangle. So rectangle symbol is basically used for processing, or it also includes the arithmetic operations. Then there is a parallelogram, which is required when we need to accept the data or we need to print the data, which means if I have to accept or use the input command, or if I have to use a print statement, I will going to use a parallelogram. Obviously in a program, there are a number of times where we need to do decision making, and for decision making we require a diamond shape, and for diamond shape we basically need to have a diamond shape object, and that will be used for decision making. And to connect the above symbols, we require an arrow, of course, and that's what is the next part of the flow chart. So I'll just show you. It's very easy to make a flow chart, and you can never go wrong as far as the flow charts are concerned if you are very clear about these symbols. So I'll take two examples which will going to make the concept of a flow chart clear in your mind. So again, let's take a simple example only, because on the basis of this example, if the concept is clear, you will be able to do other questions like positive, negative number, a multiple of a number, multiple of multiple numbers, and so on. So we are checking whether a number n is an even or an odd. Now what do we need? The first thing that comes into our mind is we start the program. So there has to be an oval symbol. Now if I have to find whether number n is even or odd, first thing is I need n. So to take the value of n for input, I require not a rectangle but a parallelogram. So take a parallelogram, take the value of n. Now you are finding out whether it is a multiple of 2 or not to be even. So therefore you use a decision making, and for decision making you will going to use a diamond shape. If it is a multiple of 2, that means if the result of this decision is true, you're basically printing the result. For printing and for input, I've already told you, you will going to use a parallelogram. So you're printing the result even. What if the result is not true? You will going to print the result odd separately. But if you have printed the number even, you are ending your program. What if the answer is not true? You will say false, print odd, and you will end your program. Now comes a second situation where there is again a little more on the higher side intelligent program making is done. So let's take a second case where we have a flowchart to be made to print the sum of n numbers. Now we need to start the program. Once we've started, of course, we need the number n so that we can start deciding about the number. But before that, I need to tell you how you basically going to find the sum of n numbers. See, obviously, if I have a number n, I have to take a variable s to initialize with 0 because I have to find the sum. My loop will going to start with 1, my loop will going to end with n plus 1, because that means the condition is till the time I is less than or equal to n. So keep on adding the value of I with s, and last may once the condition becomes false, just say print s. That's how you do your program. Okay, so there are two initial values that you are doing. One is s and the other is I. So here also you will basically take two variables, s as 0 and I is 1. Now for how long are you supposed to continue with this program? Till the time the value of I is less than or equal to n. So if this is true, That means you need to increment the value of s with I. So s will become s plus 1, s plus I, am sorry, and I will become I plus 1. So I is also simultaneously getting incremented. Now what am I supposed to do after this? I'm supposed to go back to the same statement to check the next condition. So I'm taking the loop back like this. So over here, please write the decision making only. Don't write words like while and all that. Just write the condition and take the loop back, and then the same thing will going to continue. But what if there is one instance will going to come when this condition will become false? Okay, then is a case where it becomes false, and once it's false, you are supposed to print the result and you are supposed to end your program. So print the result, and if it's false, and end your program. Sorry children, I wasn't having a space under this, so I've just used the arrow. But please remember, while designing a flowchart, it's not again a compulsion that you have to write down the commands in capital letters or small letters. You can always take care of the case sensitivity, but since it's an algorithm, so you're basically representing the flow of commands. Therefore, it's not a hard and the fast rule that it has to be written in small letters or something. Okay, so I hope you've understood that when we are dealing with the flow chart, what is important is these symbols, and at the same time it's very important that you're dealing with the true and false concept properly, so that once you're clear with this, you will be able to understand how the flow of instruction is happening. So I think this was a pretty simple concept for you to remember. And if you have any questions further regarding the flowchart, please do write. And if you like the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and have a lovely day, children.